All right, I'm going to try my hand at the Guardian's Cryptic Crossword for Wednesday, April 10th. It is set by Panga Kupu, who is the New Zealand setter, right? And there's usually some Maori word hidden within it as a little Easter egg. All right, let's try one across. Pain also leads to article about account given by hospital. Well, is it going to be something given by a hospital or is it going to be a pain? Hospital is usually H, so I'm thinking that's going to be part of the wordplay. Ooh, an account is often AC. I can see that ACH could be part of an ache, stomach ache. Ooh, how about toothache? Also being two. How does the leads to article work? I think also is simply the two. And then I think leads to just means it's beside article being the, which goes around the account by hospital. So there are a few extraneous words in that clue, but I think that's fair. All right, so some good starting letters here. A degree in part turning up as a deficit. I think the definition part has to be at the end, a deficit. But I'm not thinking of a two-word phrase for that. I'm thinking part turning up is we may have to turn part around and have TRAP, and that may go around a degree, which could be ABA. Probably would begin with the TR and then end with a P. No, nothing is coming to me for the deficit definition. How about contraption of pipes emptied over grain regularly? So first thing I think of for a contraption with pipes is an organ. And so we're going to empty the word over to just have the O and the R, and then grain regularly take every other letter from grain. We have our organ. Okay, how about, a nice long one here. Support performances around some trees. They're useful for chase scenes. I think when you see a phrase like that at the end, where it really does seem like it's describing the answer, that is usually the definition part, I think. And so the wordplay will be support performances, or support, and then performances around some trees. Now, is it some part of the word, trees, or is it going to be types like ash or elm? But what are useful for chase scenes? Assuming we can read that just as straightforward in films or television where there are chase scenes, I can think of a Steadicam can be useful, or a helicopter shot, an overhead shot. Oh, cardboard boxes are very useful for chase scenes. You always have to have a car crashing through a pile of cardboard boxes. I don't know. It's useful for chase scenes, but I'm suspecting it might be not the usual kind of chase scene. Horse racing, don't they have a steeplechase? No. How about British islands forbidding reservoir? Well, British on its own could be B, but since we start with C, I think this might actually be some British islands. And the wordplay will be forbidding reservoir. A word for forbidding. Now, is that forbidding as in banning or forbidding as in something that is ominous looking? No, not seeing it. Shade filling each old drain. Shade filling, maybe? Shade. Thinking of sunglasses. Eyewear? But what's the filling each? Oh, of course, each can be EA. So maybe the definition is a drain. And we're going to put something for a shade inside each and old. Ear, a drain. Is there some sense in which an ear can be a drain? Ear hole. No. Okay, well, I got excited when I got one across, but I think it's going to be a bit of a slog after that. All right, let's go back to the acrosses. Pondered, laying off millions, no longer in prime condition. I think it's, oh, yeah, a word for pondered, which has at least one M in it, and then we're going to remove the M and get something that is no longer in prime condition is used. And the word for pondered is mused. All right. Two more starters. Consequence of baking regulation, upset king visiting coastal region. Aye. It's the baking regulation that's throwing me. So maybe it's consequence of baking. Oh, like sunburn or something like that. And then a regulation upset. Or regulation would be a rule or a law. And king will be K or ER or well, CR, I suppose. Visiting a coastal region. No, not seeing it. How about source of theatrical effect, risk bringing in railway? Well, thinking of one common theatrical effect used in concerts too to get a fog effect is dry ice. And I can see it has the RY, which is an abbreviation for railway. And around it we have dice. I suppose dice with death. Dice is risk, gambling. All right. Let's try have disappeared after repeatedly extracting energy for gas. Well, just because, well, I think it's a crossword I did that won't appear until the weekend. but there was a gas in it, argon, and it occurs to me that if you say we are gone, we have disappeared, but you remove the E's, energy can be E, then we have argon. All right. Determined. Those people will accept alternative work on collections. I'm thinking the definition might be determined, as in when somebody is determined, they're set on something. Oh, actually, maybe set, and then those people would be them or they. Oh, because of the Y, I'm thinking it's they. And they have to accept alternative work. What's an alternative? Work is often OP for opus. I'm wondering if it could be we flip it around, PO. Oh, or it could be alternative letters from work, W and R or O and K. On collections. No, I think I need a little more for that one. Improve status of the French after reflecting what's good for France. I think it might mean improve or improve status. Well, with the 7 letters and third is N, I'm wondering if it could be benefit. But the French is usually le or la. And then reflecting what's good for France, I'm thinking we're going to take bon or belle, the French for good, and turn it backwards, reflecting it. Yeah, I don't think benefit is, I don't like a B at the end of one down's first word. And I don't think the wordplay works. The French after reflecting what's good, no. But oh yeah, the French comes after reflecting what's good. Well, could it have, oh, how about ennoble? Ah, yes. Yeah, if you improve somebody's, I suppose, social status in an aristocracy, you ennoble them. Let's see. The French is the le. After, oh yeah, it's the feminine. I was thinking en being in French, but it's just bon, the feminine version. Ooh, so then one down, a degree in part, turning up as a deficit. Oh, how about a trade gap would be a national deficit? Let's see. So we do have trap, which is part going backwards. Now, it's not clear which is the A, but there we have DEG, which is a part of the word degree. So there we go. Actually, that didn't turn out to be too terrible. Now, oh, I can think of something they do in chase scenes when they want to reverse direction quickly. You do a handbrake turn. That's on my bucket list to do a handbrake turn sometime. How does the wordplay work? Support. performances. Oh, I think if you lend somebody a hand, you're giving them support, and turns are performances. And I think I do know this word break. Now, I might have spelt it BREAK in my ignorance, but I believe it is a small group of trees, I think maybe planted as a windbreak or something, but let me pause and look that up. No, it seems to be an area of dense undergrowth, shrubs, brushwood, etc., or a thicket, and related to Middle Low German break from the Old French for a branch. So I think that's how we get our handbrake turns. Now our British Islands, no, still not seeing it. Let's go back to the crosses. Turned in first item for auction. Cartouche, initially from Egypt. Oh, I think it might be an adjective meaning from Egypt, and I say that because it ends in C. And we have cartouche initially, which is going to be the final C. And one thing that I read of the first item for auction, well, an item in an auction is a lot. I did wonder if it could be lot one would be the first item, and that would be LOTI. And then turned in, maybe. But I'm also trying to think of Ptolemy. Because maybe we have to turn the first item, so then it would become ITOL. No, but I think before the cartouche, before the C, we have to have an I. So I like, Nilotic. Let me pause and look that up and see if that is a word. Yes, amazingly enough, the Nilotic peoples are people indigenous to the Nile Valley. So just from the wordplay, I was able to work that one out. That's always nice. All right, moving ahead, as indeed we are, along with map, identifying both ends. Ooh. Now, that's funny. Begins and ends with A, the first word. Oh, how about alpha and omega would be a phrase meaning the start and the end. So that's identifying both ends. Now, how is moving ahead along? Oh, I think it's an anagram of head along map. Wow, that's a good anagram. Excuse me. So yes, that one was straightforward thanks to those two A's. Reliability, function supplied by stronghold. That's the type of clue I just look at and I don't even know where to start with it. Yeah, I'm thinking reliability is going to be the definition. A function, of course, could be a social function. It could be something party. Maybe that would be the end of the word. Supplied by stronghold. What's a stronghold? A castle, No, not getting it. How about a cricket club almost entirely adopting rugby as additional item? I think additional item must be the definition, an addendum or it's a funny ending, U, maybe URE. And it's a cricket club almost entirely. Yeah, but adopting rugby, well, that could be RU actually, rugby union. So we might put in RU inside a cricket club. Now, do I need to know an actual cricket club? I am always suspicious of the A, so it might actually begin with A. No, not seeing it. Small body of water and reducing in size, question mark, which worries me. Small body of water, pond, lake, puddle, and reducing in size. No, neural center developed in tribesman. Well, I think this must be an anagram of tribesman, which has 9 letters. We develop that and we get something to do with the brain. And actually, I can see we have brain in there. And what's left over? ES, M, and T. Oh, the brain stem, I think. I think that's right. Okay, beat most of the nick. So I think it's going to be a word for beat, which of course has many different meanings. I can think of a musical one that would have a 5-letter synonym, tempo. But then I think the wordplay is going to be a word for the nick, which could be prison or it could be a cut, but most of, and I can't think of a word that would start with tempo that's going to mean the nick. I'll come back to that one. Former house, years old, with a couple of kings. So I think it's a former royal house. Years old could be abbreviated to YO. You would write down 8YO if you're 8 years old. And then R can be king from the Latin, or K, and we get the House of York. Now, medic losing a love, considering everything, mostly as a matter of faith. Well, when I read losing a love, I thought of, well, love can be 0 in tennis, represented by an O. So maybe it's a word for a medic with 2 O's and we lose one of them. And the obvious one is doctor. And as a matter of faith, I'm thinking something like doctrinal, considering everything mostly. Oops, lost my cursor for a moment. There we go. But I don't get the considering, I think, is in, and then everything is all, but it's mostly, we only have one of the L's. I think that's right. I won't check it yet. All right, let's go back to the downs. Here's another long one. Ridiculous. Car Tatler chose as one for the smart set. All right, we have 14 letters, and Car Tatler chose is 14. So let's use the anagram helper for the first time today. And ridiculous, I think, is the anagram indicator. One for the smart set. I don't even know what that means. Oh, there's something. No, I was thinking of the chattering classes, but it's not that. A charter, something charter. Smart set, is that, I think with the question mark, it's going to be a pun. So maybe something like Mensa or one for the smart set. No, I'm failing to see a good anagram here. Let's try and get some more letters for that one. Couple possessed of such wild happiness initially will require this conveyance. So again, just the format of that, I'm reading it as will require this conveyance tells me the answer is a conveyance of some kind, which I presume is some kind of transportation. Now, I think there's another older meaning of a conveyance, maybe in business dealings, but couple, of course, could be a pair possessed of such wild. Yes, so this is actually very clever, where the wordplay actually helps us get towards the answer. If you think of a couple with wild happiness, they may eventually have a child and they will need a push chair. So it is pair on the outside, and it possesses a wild version of such, which is USHC and anagrammed, and then an additional H, which is happiness initially. That's clever. Now a cricket club, of course, there's the MCC. Could it be ACC? Something like a cruel? Is that an additional item? I think if you accrue things, they are additional. All right, I'm almost at the 30-minute mark, so I will use the check this button. It is correct. Yeah, so I think again, like in the other one, doctrinal, where we had all, but it didn't quite finish. We have ACC as the cricket club, and almost entirely, well, entirely would be all, and it's almost that AL, and it adopts rugby union. All right. City is but a shell of London after redevelopment. Well, redevelopment suggests anagramming. And if we anagram London, We get 6 letters, so we need 2 more. Oh, maybe it's the shell of London is the L and the N, and we add that to is but a. Let's see if that would work. Is but a LN and a city ending in, oh yes, Istanbul. There we go. That was fairly straightforward once I realized which letters to use. Now our beat ends in a B, most of the nick. Oh, I know there's a prison, of course, Wormwood Scrubs. Isn't that where Porridge was set? And so most of Scrubs would be scrub. Can scrub mean beat? Possibly. What would that do for 23 down? Oh, a seductress. I can definitely think of a 5-letter word that fits that. Making for passion, not love, in lad. Oh, well, I don't see the wordplay, but I'm thinking a siren is a seductress. Making for passion, not love. So I'm thinking it's either a word for a lad or a name, a boy's name, and we remove the O, again, love meaning O. Ron. Let me check this one. It is correct. Yeah, I do not understand that one, so we'll have to look. If you haven't seen my videos before, at the end I go to the website 15 Squared, where they have a blog for each day's crossword, and they break down how the wordplay works, which is very, very useful. Now our small body of water looks like it's going to be something C. Oh no, it could be a something spa. Yeah, let me not rush into that one. Let's see. How about legal document about poor service that's cancelled? I think cancelled is going to be the definition. Deleted, maybe? Yes, so we want around the outside a legal document, and certainly a deed is a legal document. And a poor service in tennis can be a fault, but it can also be a let. Is that where it hits the net on the way over? And you're allowed to serve again. All right, I intend turning up to block a conservative without spirit. Okay. I think without spirit must be the definition. Oh, I'm thinking of anemic, maybe as a word, bloodless, without spirit. Not sure about the word play. I mean. Yeah, so I mean goes up, so I intend to do something, I mean. Actually, just I intend, what I intend with what I say, what I mean. And that blocks a conservative, C being the abbreviation for conservative. All right. Now my reliability function supplied by stronghold. Steadfastness comes to mind as reliability. Yeah, looks like that will fit. So now what is the function supplied by stronghold? I think maybe a stead, as in a homestead. Could that be a stronghold? What is the function? Fastness? It's not an anagram. No, again, we're going to have to resort to our friends over at 15 squared. All right, now, what is this? Small body of water and reducing in size. Well, if something is if it's an actual sea, and I'm thinking there is one in Eastern Europe, four-letter beginning with A, the something sea. It's not really a small body of water, so I'm not too sure about that. Let's try maybe 9 down again. Oh yeah, that one was that anagram I wasn't having much luck with, although having now the T here, that might help. One for the smart set. Teaser would be something for a smart set, but that doesn't quite fit. All right, I think I'm going to try and work that one out on paper and see if that's more helpful. Now I'm really struggling with this one, trying to finding it hard what that second word is going to be. Let me just check the crossers and make sure. Okay, well now that makes more sense why I wasn't finding a good. All right, so it's not wormwood scrubs. Beat, oh, maybe throb. Yes, the nick. Well, nick can mean to steal. So I think it's the rob, but most of it, so it becomes throb. Let's check that. All right. Now let's see if I can work out what one for the smart set is. Something theater. Let me pause and check. Yes, it's a phrase that appeared in this crossword before. I think it was one of maybe the first crosswords I recorded myself doing. And it was a phrase I'd never heard before, but it's an insulting term for a Land Rover, which is a Chelsea tractor. So it is one for the smart set and a ridiculous car. So it's a bit of an and-lit, I suppose, in that the wordplay indicators are also pointing us towards the answer. All right, yeah, I'd never heard of that phrase, Chelsea tractor. I'm sure everyone in Britain and Ireland knows that. All right, now what's our consequence of baking regulation? Upset king visiting coastal region. What would a coastal region be? A strand or a something or other? No, not seeing it. Let's try, 20 down. Wary. Oh, I don't think I looked at this one. About overturning support for container of dangerous liquid. I'm thinking it's going to be wary as the definition. Overturning support. they've often used support as a clue for the word bra. So I'm wondering if we have bra backwards, and it could be the container or put inside a dangerous liquid. What is a dangerous liquid? And what's a word for wary? Let me run through the alphabet. Well, I did have to resort to wordplays.com because I could not think of anything meaning wary, but it's actually that's part of the wordplay. The wary is coy, which is not exactly what I think of as the meaning of coy, but there you go. And sure enough, the overturning support is bra. The coy goes about that. And we get this word carboy. I have a vague memory I've seen it before. I think it can be used as a large vessel for water or for fermenting beer, but it is used in a laboratory sense for something that would possibly contain a dangerous liquid. So I learned something today. Let's try then and get this small body of water and reducing in size. I want to say the Aral Sea. But let's check that. Oh, it is it is correct. How does the wordplay work? I'm wondering if it's a homophone or some Aral Sea. No, Aral Sea reducing. I do see we have area around the outside, and inside I think we have, well, we have an extra A, but then we have L for large and S for small. Maybe the A indicates and, but I don't know if that's right. I think maybe that's how it works. All right, let's look at our British islands end in N. Well, I'm thinking now that a reservoir, I suppose similar to a carboy, might be a canteen. But how is that British Islands forbidding? Let's check it. No, it's not right. Oh, the T was right. All right, let's go ahead and reveal it. Oh, a cistern, another kind of reservoir. Definitely. British Islands, I think is the CI, the Channel Islands. And if somebody is forbidding, they are stern. Oh my goodness. Very tricky. All right. Determined. Those people will accept alternative work on. Yes. So I did say set earlier for determined. And I thought about they, meaning those people. An alternative is are, or if you prefer, are. And so mathematical work on collections is set theory. Very good. Now our shade, let's get rid of that so it doesn't put me off. Shade filling each old drain. Still don't know, but I'm wondering if a shade could be a tone. Could that be? Yeah, R10. Yeah, I really want this to be each and then old at the end, and something for a shade is filling it, and it's going to mean drain. Oh, maybe eat into. Could that be? But then, oh yeah, the shade is a tint, of course. Yes. So I just don't know this phrase eat into. Oh, I suppose I do. Sorry. So if you have savings, then your outgoings might eat into your savings or drain them. I think it's a very specific sense in which they are synonyms, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Now, just this last one, the consequence of baking, regulation, upset king, visiting coastal region. Consequence could be an upshot, or what could that be? Consequence of baking. Something like a shortage. I think I'm going to resort to wordplays.com and find what words might fit that pattern. Uh, I never thought that the consequence of baking might simply be something that you bake. So I think that's a very tricky way to define it. And I believe the answer is shortcake. Now, I know it is cheating by looking at a website that tells you what words fit a certain pattern, but it's the only way I'm going to be able to finish some of these crosswords. Anyway, how does the wordplay work? Oh, I think the coastal region is going to be shore, and inside that, we're going to have regulation, upset, and king. Not sure about that. So TCAK. So yeah, there it is. It's an act. I think I said law, but it's an act is a regulation. That is upset or turned around. And there's our K for king. And that's it. All right, let's check all. All right, looks like all the letters are still there. Let's head on over to 15 squared to solve the mysteries. All right, today's blog is by Manehi. Some clever surfaces. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Let's see. Of the acrosses, I think I got most of them except for the steadfastness. Stead is function. I don't get that. And I think I do know of a fastness as being a stronghold. But how is stead function? In somebody's stead, or no, I don't get that at all. If you understand it, please let me know in the comments. Oh, it's also, I thought it was going from L to S, but it's also is and that is reducing inside area size. I got that part, but I didn't get the why the ALS was right. All right, that was most of the Rob. All right, and that one was correct. In all, yeah, so you actually put in all together, considering everything mostly, yeah. And then on the downs, I think the one that baffled me was the siren. Oh my goodness. Ire, meaning passion. Well, I don't know. Ire is a very specific kind of passion, right? Anger is ire, but that replaces the O in sun. Oh my goodness. Very, very tricky. Let's see if anyone um, so here there is a hidden Maori word. Puaki is to reveal, is in row 8. Oh my goodness. Yeah, had not parsed as function. Let's see if anyone. Oh, yeah, so we did have back in November, we had Chelsea Tractor. Instead for function, yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, so there were two very similar ways. I would not call a let a poor service, far from it. All right, well, I think that's nitpicking there. Um, so when senior folks first saw the RLC, it was quite large, yeah. So I must look it up, and I didn't know it had shrunk. Let's see. All right. Nobody's talking about anyone else. I'm looking for stat. Oh yeah, how does stat equals function? Let's see if anyone. Oh, I suppose in somebody's stead, the place or function. Oh yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I did enjoy it. There were just a few at the end I couldn't get and had to reveal our resort to wordplays.com. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day.